This podcast is rated off for realness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Bookers podcast. It's me, your boy, Basement Jer, and your other boy, Rich DeRiz. When together, we will all take the time to acknowledge the tribal chief, the head of the table, the war chief. Throw it up. And so he has been acknowledged. Let's get straight into it. We got a lot of ground to cover. Deadline was happened. A final battle somewhere, and really big, huge, terrible news for the wrestling community, everywhere. As usual, Rich the Riz is the expert in all things about fake news and real sports and entertainment.
That's right. Lots of news this week because we didn't have news last week. And as the title will suggest, justice for Mandy. Mandy Rose was abruptly released from her contract this week, according to Wrestling Observer Radio, after Shawn Michaels was made aware by Matt Bloom. We now have someone to blame of the content of her posts on her fan time page. Which apparently those kinds of posts are against the terms of her contract. While the general consensus is that it was due to a refusal to shut down the page, Jeff Whalen of Raja, who still does not cite his sources, noted
Trust
that,
me,
quote,
bro. That's
yeah,
his source there.
yeah, I know that, quote, there are some rumors that Rose had requested a release 2 weeks ago. He added that some of his unnamed sources claimed that she was making more from her fan time page than her WWE contract.
Yeah, I can
Considering
see that.
Considering her fan time page, which is not sponsoring us, so I won't say what it is, but you can probably pretty easily find it. She's charging $40 per month. That's so I don't compare any of these because I don't have one. Like, obviously I don't have any of these accounts. That seems a little steep.
I
It
saw
was
something that it went
Mhm.
up to 40, but she brought it back down to 35 because it was 30
Okay.
before.
hmm
You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So it's
So
35 now.
the report did note that the content has gotten progressively more provocative. So,
I haven't seen any of it.
mhm,
I don't, even if it is voluntary and she's doing it on her own, I haven't seen it.
mhm.
Um, so is there any other facts involved in the case, or can we like give our opinion?
No other definitive facts are out yet that I've seen. Opinion time.
I think we're of the same mind here.
Mhm,
We might be. My issue is that especially since the NXT run,
mhm,
they had no problem exploiting her sexuality for their own gain, encouraging the outfits and stuff. No
mhm.
problems with the photos, with the championship and all that. Very tasteful,
True.
you know.
Mhm,
No problem with any of that. I don't know if it's true about the release. No one really does,
mhm.
right?
Right.
But if they just let her go without even a warning and be like, hey, maybe you should take this down. And also, I heard some stuff about maybe it's also a Mattel thing with the toys. Like maybe that's an issue. I don't know if they have like a contract with them and that and stuff. And it's like, I can understand why she would,
Mhm,
because you're not going to, as a woman, right? Like,
mhm.
I'll never understand. So this is just my guess.
Right.
Is that I always use the term, and you always like, is that a saying? You got to make hay while the sun shines.
Mhm.
There's a certain point where you reach an age where you're not going to make the same money off of your physical appearance.
Right.
She, I don't know. I can't speak to any kind of enhancements because I don't know anything. I'm just going off of what it takes to look like that,
Mhm.
and how hard and how disciplined you have to be. How hard you have to be, right? How
Heh.
disciplined you have to be to have that.
Hmm.
And if she wants to make money off of that, she's not doing X-rated movies.
Right.
Then that to me is fine. And yes, publicly traded company. I don't know when it went public in relation to having female talent that did Playboy spreads and all the goods right
Hmm.
there. It's not exactly, the Macy's catalog.
Yeah. The thinking there at least is Playboy is um the classy magazine.
I would
Pl-
argue that she does classy photos probably too. I would argue that.
mhm.
And also, you know, from that is correct, but it's not 2010 anymore.
Right.
It's 2022. It's a new digital age. And those people will watch Mandy on TV.
Hmm.
That's all. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You I don't think she'll be back. I don't think this is permanent. I think this is temporary. And if she doesn't, I think that's fine. If it's
Hmm.
true that she's making more money off of that without destroying her body, fine.
Yeah.
Works out better for her.
Hmm.
What do you think?
So I've seen the content. I've seen a lot of the content. I don't know if I've seen all of it. I've seen a bunch of the content. I there's a group I'm in that they share. Anyway.
Do you believe
Hmm.
if it's too spicy? So we have an actual witness here.
So I'll say this. She goes like 90% nude up to, right?
Okay.
So wearing as little as just a thong or G-string, whatever, right?
Are we talking pasties here?
No. So
Oh,
okay. So on the top level, we don't see those often, and it's never a fully clear shot. It's never blatant.
okay.
Like, there are times they're out, but there's a little bit of an obstruction. They're being held at an angle or whatever. It's never it's not full on from what I've seen.
Oh, like magic.
Right.
Mm.
So I don't know what the terms are, and we won't know until we get an interview and Mandy just tells us, right? HBK isn't going to tell us. Matt Bloom isn't going to tell us the terms of her contract. She would have to tell us specifically what she was fired for. She would have to tell us what was said in that room when they said, we're going to release you from your contract. Or she has to say, I requested my release 2 weeks prior. It took them some time to think about it, to consider it, to come up with a creative direction for what to do. Although, from what I heard, the decision to release her was so last minute that they kind of had to scramble a little bit to put together the creative for her to drop the title on NXT.
To Roxy, right? When we
Right.
get to it, yeah.
Hmm. So, uh, there could be some credence to the statement that she requested her release, or maybe not. Don't know.
Yeah, it seems strange.
Hmm.
But we'll have more on it as it develops, I think. I'm not letting
Maybe.
this go.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe the conversation even started where she went in and said, "Hey, can I get more money because I'm making more money doing this?" And Matt Bloom or Shawn Michaels are like, "Well, what are you doing there?"
Matt Bloom's a snitch because he's the one
Yeah,
who brought it to him, right?
I bet you Matt Bloom's in the same group I'm in. He probably saw it the same way I did,
I think he's Bloom Matt. You got that's suspicious.
right?
Hardly creative, Tensai.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, justice for Mandy. But
Hmm.
obviously, as a friend of hers, because we did speak when she signed for me. Just in case you guys forgot, we're all very happy here,
Hmm.
and yeah. That was a great day for them and me. So I hope this isn't the end, but if it's whatever makes her happy, I think is fine. And well, maybe we'll see her down the road.
Yeah, whatever she decides to do, I'm sure she'll succeed. She obviously has the work ethic. Like you mentioned, it's not easy to maintain that kind of physique. It's
Yeah,
absolutely not.
yeah, 100%. You don't need, and you know what else? Mandy don't need AEW.
Hmm.
AEW needs Mandy.
Yep.
And if I were her, I'd think about, hey, it's been a while since Adam Cole's been around. Where's he at? And that's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need
But
to do
Miro,
that.
or even Miro, Miro is he's not injured anymore. They're just waiting for creative.
Well, I admit in the case of Adam Cole that he got a really bad concussion and he might not wrestle again, from what
That
we
too.
hear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And he'll land on his feet probably, but it won't be
Hmm.
doing what he loves.
Right.
He doesn't love gaming as much as he loves wrestling, I bet.
Hmm.
Anyway, moving
All
right
right.
along.
According to the Wall Street Journal, two more women have stepped forward to claim sexual misconduct perpetrated by Vince McMahon, and both are seeking damages. Rita Chatterton, the first female WWE referee, is accusing Vince of raping her in the back of a limo in 1986.
That's in the
That's
documentary.
right. That's a big one. That's a big one. Also, a former spa manager alleges that Vince assaulted her at a resort in 2011, and the incident was reported at the time. The unnamed spa manager's lawyer has reportedly been in contact with Vince's attorney since July or earlier.
So I watched the Vice documentary, The Nine Lives of Vince McMahon.
Hmm.
Definitely not a favorable look at him. They discuss in a little bit of detail. I think they had the lady, or maybe they didn't, or just it was described. But what happened was he wanted them to take a photo of him so he could send it to, like, I don't know, somebody, I think a wife or a girlfriend or whatever.
Hmm.
And and then he's like looking through and like showing her these other pictures of him.
Hmm.
And allegedly, this is all allegedly because I don't want him coming after me.
Right.
Allegedly, he tried to, hey now. And like, she screamed and, ran away or whatever. But I would check that out if you haven't. I'm going to mess it up for anybody. But not including that, if you don't, that to me was new. I don't remember hearing about that, which by the way, gross for both things.
Yeah.
Um, I hate how that has to be said. It's like, yeah, that's disgusting. All of it you've probably heard about already.
We
Like
shouldn't have to
anything,
denounce rape and sexual misconduct.
yeah, anything that's gross is like we know. Like
Hmm.
we're not babies. We
Yeah.
know. Um, it's stuff you already know. The
Hmm.
steroid thing, John Stossel thing, all
Hmm.
the things. It's Owen Hart, all those things. It's nothing really new or groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? It's like a long episode of Dark Side of the Ring, but not as good with the reenactments. Not enough of them for my liking.
Mm.
I like those silly reenactments. It
And
would have
not
been
with Chris
great if they got
Jericho's voiceover.
Yes, I was just gonna say they should have had Chris Jericho do the voiceover,
Hmm.
but probably a conflict of interest.
Probably.
Yeah.
Bodyslam.net is reporting that Matt Riddle failed two drug tests recently. The second one was like just within the past couple weeks. First one was before SummerSlam, which delayed his match against Seth Rollins until Clash at the Castle, where he was warned that his next violation will lead to either mandatory rehab or termination. The report
Bro,
does, yeah. The report doesn't specify what was found in the system, but it's known that WWE no longer tests for marijuana.
that's exactly what I always point to. It's
Hmm.
that you're like, hey man, but that's his persona. They know that. It's like, yeah, but that's fine.
Right.
It's the other stuff. So we don't know if it's booger sugar. We don't know if it's the shroom tattooed on his side. which by the way does have medicinal properties. They're doing studies on it. There's a plan to legalize it. I think it's legal in Oregon, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Um,
I
but
have contacts in Oregon. I can find out.
I understand why they would kind of do that. But it's like, yeah, but you got somebody part of a main event thing, and people get hurt in DUIs, and I guess it's enough to get a talking to from the tribal chief. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
that's probably scarier than any rehab, I'd argue.
Yep.
So, but if it's if they're stopping it from becoming a problem for Riddle, who we like,
Mhm.
then I'm okay with that. If it's a good faith,
Mhm.
as long as it's not some grimy politicking stuff, I'm fine with it.
Mhm.
I always argue that it's nobody's business what you put in your body as long as it's not affecting your work.
Mhm.
But there's like a slippery slope. Like you could, everybody's different. Everybody's
Mhm.
got different kind of addictive properties and things like that. So
Mhm.
we just a bro to get well soon and come back to
Yep.
to wrestling and stuff.
Mhm.
Not a bad way to get written off either.
True. Yeah, they handled the creative around that pretty well. It was announced recently that never openweight champion Carl Anderson was approved by WWE to defend his title at the Wrestle Kingdom 17 show on January 4th, and that it might not necessarily be his last appearance for the promotion. This will make him the first WWE contracted talent to appear at Wrestle Kingdom.
I think that's a good thing to say because then it's not like spoiling the result of the match if they're like, yeah, that's it. That's all he's doing.
Right.
So we'll move it on with our
Exactly.
lives.
Yeah, so going into it, you still don't know who's going to win just because he's defending the title. Like it's if he has more dates, like obviously he could retain, or maybe he'll lose and then chase the champ or chase
Yep.
someone else.
Yep.
So it leaves everything open there. Now, speaking of New Japan and Wrestle Kingdom, this actually isn't directly related to that. Well, yeah, it's in there. Okay, according to Dave Meltzer, your favorite wrestler, Sasha Banks' WWE deal ends at the end of this year. Negotiations are ongoing, but Sasha is reportedly asking for, quote, Becky money, but management doesn't seem to see her as worth that much, and the two sides are pretty far apart financially. The report goes on to add that Sasha is booked for multiple New Japan dates, including Wrestle Kingdom 17, though the option for WWE to freeze her contract is still reportedly available. Meltzer adds that New Japan wouldn't be able to match what Sasha's asking for in a long term contract, but Tony Khan could, leaving her as a possibility to be Soraya's partner for the January 11th episode of Dynamite against Hayter and Britt Baker.
I guess I'm out then. 'Cause I'm not going to get that call, am I? Thought we are going to partner up, Paige, Soraya, whatever you want to call yourself. Just know that we're friends, and I was willing to sacrifice my body to protect you and make sure that you walk away with the W. But I get it. I
Mhm.
get it. Men shouldn't wrestle women. That's pretty, standard stuff. Um, but it's a missed opportunity. If I'm being honest. I maybe we might disagree on this.
Mhm.
But I've had this conversation with my wife, and
Mhm.
I'm going to say it again. The question is, Rich Riz, I'm going to ask you,
Mhm.
do you think, with what we know and how she's, um, what's the word, presented herself or has represented herself in the past, do you
Mhm.
think that she should be getting Becky money?
No. So twice walking out means you're not reliable. Like if you're walking out and refusing to appear on TV when you've been advertised for a match, for a show, for anything, and say you say no, I'm not going to do that because I don't like your creative direction. It's like, well, wait a second. Do we give you a creator salary? Are you a writer? Do you have creative control? No. So you're just refusing to do your job. Now, there's back and forth, right? There's obviously this gray area. There are details we don't know. It can be argued whether or not she's doing what's right for her. But clearly, her walking out wasn't right for business. It's not right for the company that was paying her. And if I'm Tony Khan, I say no.
I agree. But the thing is, you if you were Tony Khan, it would be an improvement. I just
Probably.
think that the idea of having a draw like Sasha
Mhm.
Banks, let's
Mhm.
let's make the argument. All right, I'm gonna do before stomp on the snake,
Mhm.
metaphorically speaking.
Mhm.
Say that she does bring value. All
Right.
right, how are
Mhm.
you gonna trust this person to do the right thing when you want her to put over your talent?
Mhm.
Is she gonna? You just gonna have her like, for example, like just beat Jade, you know,
Mhm.
and just have her just be the one that does it? No, right? Unless she tases her. But listen,
Hmm.
we don't want that. It didn't. We didn't like it when it happened in
Sasha.
WCW. We
Mhm.
don't want it now.
Right.
I don't. Just may shock you.
Mhm.
I do not believe that she should get Becky money.
Mhm.
Now, I saw a tweet where someone was saying, "Do you think Sasha Banks is a bigger star than Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch?" To which I said, to say she is I would grant you that you can ask the question if she's a bigger star.
Mhm.
If you're asking if she's a much bigger star, you're out of your mind.
Right.
You're crazy. You're a crazy
There's
person.
there's no much. Like, sure, she has outside WWE notoriety with her stint on the Mandalorian, but you've
Five
watched the Mandalorian,
minutes.
right?
5 minutes. A cup
Right.
of coffee. All right. And
like, wait, literally 5 minutes? I have to
I
ask, literally 5 minutes?
no, not
Okay.
literally, but
Mhm.
in the grand scope of a season,
Mhm.
it's like the last 2 episodes or something, I think. I'm not It's been a while since I seen it.
Mhm.
It was in the second season. But I don't all right, first let me get it out of the way. She's very talented, but I
Mhm.
think that she believes her own hype and she's inflated herself. Or she's just surrounded by people that tell her, "Oh, you should be getting more. You're this, you're that." It's like, yeah, but your record doesn't really show that,
Mhm.
really. And the whole, just throwing temper tantrums like twice already. What's going to happen the next time you don't get your way? It
Mhm.
doesn't work, and it doesn't set a good example for the rest of the locker room. I
Right.
say, I say, cut bait, and I also say you already have a brand new crop of talent coming out of NXT that can easily replace her.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair is better than Sasha Banks
Yeah.
already.
Mhm.
So I don't know what to tell you here. If you like Sasha, and I think Sasha's cool, but she's a snake. But she's very talented. You can't really take that away from her. You can't, because you don't get to that level without being good.
Mhm.
So I just disagree with her, being much better or like being worth Becky money when like Becky's shown that she's loyal to the company.
Yeah.
And then let's look at merch. Let's look at merch sales.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Becky sells more than Sasha does.
See a lot more Becky goggles and the man shirts than I do Sasha Banks rings. Legit
Yeah,
boss.
not even that. It's a few things, but and it's also like the man shirts. Like dudes buy that stuff. They buy a lot of her stuff.
Yup.
So I don't know. But anyway, that's just how I am on this.
I think Becky is a more likable character, and because in part you can feel she's like it comes across as a more likable person behind the character.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, if you're walking out on a show, right? And like I'm another promoter, like if you went into business for yourself backstage, I don't have any reason to trust that you're not going to go into business for yourself on screen, which is arguably worse. You know,
Yeah.
let's say you're about to, you're supposed to drop a title to someone, and you're out there and you're like, nah, you know what? I'm thinking about. It. I don't agree with that. I'm gonna kick out and just run away with the title.
Right.
Can't
Like,
trust that.
no, you can't. And I think it's a three strikes thing. But
Hmm.
instead, let's not let it get to three.
Right.
As somebody obviously who has no power in
Hmm.
this. I'm just a fan, but it's like imagine you paying a ticket to see her,
Yeah.
and she no shows you.
Hmm.
You haven't really shown that you have like a maturity, and you
Hmm.
took Naomi down with you. That to me is like the main thing.
I
You know what I
saw
mean?
I saw a comment today uh, that responded to pretty much that exact comment, saying Naomi is a grown person who can make her own decisions.
Agreed.
Naomi decided to go along with Sasha.
I agree.
I think even if she didn't, A, the tag titles are still were still missing in action for months. And B, well, I don't know. Like you can't had Naomi gone into John Laurinaitis' office and said, "Listen, Sasha said her piece, but I'm here. I'm here to work." Had Naomi done that, I think they would have pushed Naomi.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm gonna put like I'm gonna staple this thought like a poorly written napkin onto your thesis here,
Hmm.
and say that of the two, I'd say that Naomi has had the most potential. You know,
Hmm.
I felt like Sasha hit her ceiling for me,
Hmm.
and it's not a low ceiling. It's up there. Okay, so let's
Hmm.
get that out. I'm not a hater.
Right.
Uh, listen, the I say she's a snake is a sketch. All right, but Naomi hasn't. I don't think she did hit that ceiling just yet. Like we
Hmm.
haven't seen everything. I not like a real serious, thorough storyline. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I don't think she really, even when she had the belt, she didn't really have that much of a chance to really shine. I
Hmm.
didn't mind her heel persona when they were doing that team that they had with
Hmm.
Tamina and Sasha.
Yeah.
Like she
Team
could have been
bad.
a she's a great heel character if she wanted to be, like especially now because that was early on in her career. Just imagine now if you let her do that.
Yep.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're cooling her down to bring her back. But
I hope so. I mean, but you know what? The obvious thing, put her in the bloodline.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's it.
Imagine a female in the bloodline. She would have to be unstoppable.
Yeah, you can't. You can argue. Thing is, someone if someone would have brought up to me, and I'm like, yeah, but not anymore.
Right.
Like
Hmm.
you can't shine her up anymore because they've used her poorly. Like once you touch that 24/7 thing from back then, you're done.
You
Like,
know what?
yeah,
I think it's been. I
well,
think it's
not
probably
done.
been right. I think there's been enough time that they could introduce Tamina eventually. Like if Naomi were to join the bloodline tomorrow, right? Eventually Tamina could come out and be her heavy. She could be the strong silent one like Solo.
So basically, the Bloodlines hooks is also in the women's division at that point.
Yeah.
So like they don't even have to roll with them really, because if it's her and Tamina, you could build it that Tamina's just this force. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Mhm.
So
They don't even have to be in the bloodline. They could just be associated with because Naomi's married into it and Tamina is part of it. But they don't even have to be like come out as representatives of the bloodline. It's just known that they're associated.
Yeah.
And maybe there be some interactions, but it doesn't have to be like, all right, the bloodline's here and include Tamina and Naomi all the time.
I want to see a bloodline cookout. I want to see an actual cookout. Like everybody together, the stories
How
we
many
hear.
how many fights slash matches break out?
None, man.
Really?
Just having a good old time, just headbutting
Hmm.
each other, just for a good old time. You know,
Samoa.
they cancel each other out. No one's
Mhm.
really hurt.
Yeah.
Um, but I
Like.
did want to mention something. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can say.
I was gonna make a stupid analogy.
Well, since we were talking about like The Rock's family.
Mhm.
Um, there's been some recent developments. So this is in the entertainment sphere of which I know a little bit more do.
Mhm.
So at one point, it was being discussed that Black Adam lost money, like it didn't
Mhm.
make the money it was supposed to.
Mhm.
And then someone writes an article about how, well, it really didn't lose money, and here's how. And The Rock shared it. You know what I mean? It's like he
Mhm.
can't accept the fact that he lost money, right? I
What
don't.
was the did so I'm presuming you read it. What was the justification of, well, they didn't really lose money? Like
Oh,
how.
because it's like, oh, it's gonna be on HBO Max afterwards, and you're not counting that, like the home stuff, people watching at home also. But I don't know how you're doing money on that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But basically, the point was The Rock, The Rock's ex-wife manages Henry Cavill,
Mhm.
who plays Superman. They brought Superman for the end of Black Adam,
Mhm.
right? The other day, sadly, we are in mourning. James Gunn, who's now in charge of the DC universe, he did Guardians of the Galaxy movies or whatever. No, they're not. They're not. They decided they're not going to move forward with Henry Cavill as Superman,
Hmm.
which is his argument is that they want to do a younger Superman. It's like we don't want young Superman. We
Hmm.
want Superman in space. We want Superman fighting Mongol. We want
Mhm.
Superman fighting Darkseid. We want
Mhm.
the really real, my dog. And it's this whole thing. But that's not the big thing.
Mhm.
So The Rock unfollowed on social media, like I think WB Films or something, and one other account related to that.
Hmm.
There's a rumor going on that the reason they axed Cavill was because The Rock was trying to use his relationship with Henry Cavill to try to get his claws in GC universe stuff,
Hmm.
you know? And I thought that was interesting. And listen, I don't know. This is trust me, bro, but it's kind of interesting. I'll have more as that story develops. By the way, quick review of Black Adam. It was fine. It wasn't
Mhm.
gonna break any barriers. Black Adam, like The Rock, we always have this argument. We always say it. Like, The Rock is always The Rock,
Mhm.
and I always make the argument. Well, if you're The Rock, why would you want to be anybody else? I don't. But in acting, you kind of have to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's where it's like I don't know, but it's basically like a Transformers movie. It's just action, and he's The Rock.
Hmm.
A lot of things don't really make sense, but I don't know. I was really looking forward to Henry Cavill being back as Superman because I think he's a really good Superman,
Mhm.
and the man deserved to be a hopeful Superman, not like the sad, depressing Superman, but like a Superman about hope and truth and justice and the American way.
Mm.
So I guess that's it for Jared Knows Hollywood,
All
sorta.
right. That was that was our Hollywood corner.
Sure,
All right.
maybe I'll make a thing for that.
So moving on from that, in an update to William Regal's pending return to WWE, Jeff Whalen of Raja reports that he signed a deal and will return the first week of January. He says that Regal won't be on WWE TV in 2023 and will focus on coaching, citing comments made by Tony Khan.
Good. He can help his son become like the best professional wrestler or whatever they want to do over there.
Yep.
As long as Vince doesn't come back, you know?
Right. And you know what? I feel like these latest two allegations are like, why even try right now? Why try now? You
It's
know?
too late. Once you put I'm retiring,
Yeah.
only Vince McMahon thinks he can unring that bell.
Hmm.
Like it when you watch the doc, like even though we know most of the stuff, it's still kind of impressive to hear how he's always like tried like a new thing,
Hmm.
until it sticks.
Yeah.
So
All right. And now it's time for the boo boo room.
you have
Get well soon. We want you to get well.
All right. According to Wrestling Observer Newsletter, both Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns are dealing with ruptured eardrums. Both suffered at Survivor Series. Both are expected to be back in action for the last week of December. And as we saw on SmackDown, Roman Reigns has a big match set.
yeah, he does. We'll have that. We'll talk about that in
Hmm.
the SmackDown discussion.
Yep, yep. Re-
Um,
Wrestling Observer Newsletter also reported that Cody is, quote, back to normal regarding his training and weightlifting. It adds that he now weighs 240 pounds, which is likely the most he's ever weighed.
Adrenaline in my soul, definitely no PEDs.
Right. Any plans for a return to TV, of course, are being kept secret.
Oh, it better be kept secret. And
Rumble,
don't hurt yourself. Yeah, definitely Rumble. Don't hurt
Rumble.
yourself. Picking up stuff and putting it down.
Right,
All right.
please. Hmm.
Try not to get too big where it affects your work.
Yeah,
Which I don't know what I'm talking about still.
yeah. Shotzi posted an X-ray on Twitter announcing that she's expected to be out for 6 weeks due to a broken right metacarpal. The metacarpal is this bone in the hand here. In her case, the one that goes to the ring finger.
So
So
that's real.
right. That's why
Wow.
they showed that angle with
I
Shane
wonder
and
how it
Ronda.
happened.
Mm,
Maybe Ty Conti closed her hand in a door without giving her time to move it.
probably.
Yeah.
She was visiting.
Like she did it so fast, she didn't have to tell her to put it there.
Yeah. AEW. All right. Top Dollar noted on Twitter that his leg, quote, gave out on his dive attempt on SmackDown. Quote, but I'm good. Thankfully, already been checked out. So
Wait a second.
obviously,
I don't
right.
know what you're talking about. Is it
He's
this?
got that look in his eye, Cole.
What is Top Dollar thinking?
I already don't like it.
There is absolutely no way! You gotta be kidding me!
And then
I
he
guess
just
there's a reason he doesn't do that
walks
often.
it off. I'm fine. Yeah,
Every-
that was great.
I in that
See
clip,
Fab just like, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, he's not dead after landing on his head on the apron.
That's like your kid made it through the exam without eating his own boogers. You did it, baby.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that clip
Mm,
especially, I really appreciate that they're kind of letting announcers say what they want now.
mm.
Um, Cole, what did Cole say? Cole said something like, "Well, I guess that's why he doesn't do that often."
Yes,
Yeah.
that is exactly what he said.
Right.
By the way, I only queued that up after I found out he was fine. So it's not
Mm,
like, you know,
yeah.
you don't
Well,
want anybody to get really hurt. But part of me was like, man, you bullshit. I would do the same thing. Oh, my knee. Yeah. Oh, man, I messed it up because my knee. Because, like, you can see he was selling something when he was, like, on the ground and stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's interesting. He said his right knee, but it looked like he was selling his left knee.
Yeah.
So
It's like those maybe you just not say about it.
right.
I just be like,
Yeah.
Gretzky says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take or whatever.
That's right. So I'm
You
glad
don't
he's
have to
okay,
do
but
that. You don't
right.
have to
Although
do that.
they did say on commentary he's dropped about 100 pounds, and you could see it.
You still don't have to do that.
I agree, but like he's obviously focusing on his training, which is good.
Oh,
Like
he
you see
needs
in
to.
his face is a lot thinner. He just looks a lot slimmer. His clothes aren't fitting well, but
Maybe he's seeing Angelo Dawkins' guy.
maybe.
Because Dawkins is slimming down too.
Yeah. But like Dawkins at least seems like he's retaining muscle. Like there's a still of Top Dollar, like with his arm out, and like you see like the line here, and you see below it,
Oh,
it's like, well, you don't really have
just
triceps,
go
so
like
that's
that.
kind
Can you go
of
like that to it? Like
yeah, that's
I
like
can't because it's solid. It's fucking
that
solid.
that
But
that,
like you
that
could just like,
that's like chicken waddle, or turkey waddle.
oh yeah, no, I see it. I see it. Yeah,
Glad he's okay.
yeah,
And
me too.
moving on from that, 2 Fridays ago, Barry Windham was admitted to the hospital after suffering a massive heart attack. A GoFundMe has been set up by Mika Rotundo, who is Bray and Bo's sister and Wyndham's niece, since he has no health insurance.
Oh, man, I think
Haven't got.
everybody should rally around them. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like everybody in that locker room could easily help. You know.
Yeah, I did see a few big names that have donated so far, but no health updates yet. So fingers crossed, get well
If it
soon,
were up to
Barry.
me, everybody would be helping each other like that. But it
Yep.
ain't up to me. So.
And closing out the Boo Boo Room, Sting mentioned in a recent interview that he underwent surgery, quote, 7 weeks ago to, quote, clean out his knees. His old knees is what he said.
Oh, just take them off and soak them in the sink for about an hour or so. You'll be all
And
right.
and retire.
Yeah, if you want,
Yeah,
because Rich wants.
please. So thus ends the Boo Boo Room for this week.
Get well soon. We want you to get well.
Right.
I've created a monster.
Haha. I
I
know
know
how to
you'll
press
enjoy it.
I know how to press the one button now.
Yay! You could probably hotkey it if you want.
I once again got to learn how to do that.
It's a lot of work.
I believe it. All right. Quick finish. We got 3 quick hits here. Well, actually, one doesn't look so quick, but whatever. Dustin Rhodes announced last weekend that after his AEW talent contract runs out, he is retiring from wrestling.
Looking forward to seeing you at Cody's Corner.
Following Final Battle, Tony Khan announced that he is relaunching the ROH Honor Club platform. For $9.99 a month, subscribers will have access to all of ROH back content to 2002, with plans for new weekly shows, quote, to be solidified at the top of next year. And, quote, pay-per-view events will be available for viewing on Honor Club 90 days after they happen live, with live pay-per-views still airing on Bleacher Report. Tony, that's not the formula. We don't like Bleacher Report. I can't download the Bleacher Report app to my TV. I have to have my computer hooked up to my TV, play it on my computer, and sit way across the room.
I think that
I don't
model
like
is
that.
outdated. I don't. I guess if you could make the money, fine. But number one, this is a great get for fans of Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me though.
Right.
So I can't justify the purchase. I can't
Mm-hmm.
justify draining money out for that. I just can't. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not there.
Yeah.
Because I would be starting from now.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no point in me going back. That isn't like I'm not deep in like that.
20 years to go back.
I'm a very casual viewer. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? When it comes to like that stuff, it's just I'm a WWE guy. But
Mm-hmm.
even I have Peacock and it has all the network stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
All I watch is the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And sometimes there'll be something interesting that I
Mm-hmm.
have to watch for the podcast or something. But it's like this is already unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like the Table for 3 format, but I've watched 2 episodes this whole year.
I've missed like 8 Austin things,
What?
probably. Yeah. So
Oh, the Steve Austin podcast. Yeah.
yeah.
The
What was
Broken
it
Skull
called? Broken
Sessions.
Skull Sessions. That's right. Thank you.
That's the one. You're welcome.
Like the whole time I'm like, what's it called?
It's got a name. Smoking
Pod Cold
Skulls.
Steve Austin.
DTA. What?
IPA. What?
Yo, it should be the DTA IPA.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity. Last bit of news. NWA announced last week that they are set to air their first live episode of NWA Power on January 31st, of course on YouTube, and on Fight.
Cool. Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Now, highlights. What do you want to
All
start
right.
with? Or should I just go to my first Raw highlight?
Um. Okay. So according to here, so we got a yellow highlight first. Now this is a new way to do it. So I've decided that I actually have Raw in one little thing. So hold on. So we'll just talk about it as it happens. So
Mm-hmm.
this, I thought I fixed it in post. So right here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna describe it like the weird upside down butterfly thing that's been randomly appearing on this appears at
Moth.
the moth. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the ugly butterfly.
Yeah.
Um, the butterflies, red-headed, not even related, but whatever. I put them together. So Alexa's coming in for a hug. She's just defeated Bailey to become the number one contender. I guess it's out of respect or whatever. And then next thing you know, like, by the way, like it was really awkward to me how
Mm-hmm.
like she was like getting her into it. And this like doesn't make any sense whatsoever, which is why I think it's in the yellow. Like I get it, but it's just weird. Like, oh, you're just
Yellow.
gonna
Yellow is this is interesting. We have storyline progression here.
oh, okay. But to me, it's like, so what? You're just gonna let her do that and not whoop her ass for trying to maybe hurt you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Bianca's
what.
fresh. Like she didn't just wrestle a match.
Yeah, and she's got that belt. She just hit her with it. It shouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
need it. She's the EST.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, that bicep flex on Bianca though.
she is so strong.
Mm-hmm.
She recently did like a bodybuilding competition thing.
Yep.
Y-
WBFF.
She is really strong. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm like, Sasha who? Like, whatever,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You're
And
like,
Bianca's an incredible athlete.
yeah, and she's not high on her own supply as far as I know. You know,
Mm-hmm.
very like gracious, grateful person. Her
Mm-hmm.
and Montez every day without fail. Montez Ford says God is good because he
Yep.
knows, man. He
Mm-hmm.
knows. He's an awesome guy. All right, so next we had the Dextring highlight was AJ Styles beating Chad Gable with
Mm-hmm.
the Styles Clash. Let me see if I can move it a little bit. There we go. So you get some. It's actually like after a reversal on something.
Yeah. Gable
Pulls it
tried, I think, for
off,
a head scissors or something.
and that just gets him with the really straight pin right there. And
You know that's kind of just always the pin after the Styles Clash, and I get it because you already have like their shoulders hooked
why
with your
bother
legs like
doing
that.
anything else? Yeah,
Yeah, but like if we're gonna like break it down like as if this were real, like that looks pretty easy to get out of. Assuming
yeah.
you're not knocked out from the Styles Clash, which I guess is kind of the point. But
hmm Apologize for
whatever.
the audio hang up there. We just had a hang up. So in case anybody heard, there's really nothing I can do about the internet. I can't control it.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought it was a really good match, and you know Chad Gable is great in the ring, and AJ Styles is freaking AJ Styles. So
Yeah, AJ Styles is amazing
yeah.
in that. And I always like to see guys like that that know what the hell they're doing, like
Hmm.
show everybody what's up.
Can't argue with his nickname. Phenomenal one.
Yeah,
So
100%.
there you go.
Yeah, throw it up.
Yeah.
All right,
Kill
so
my green screen.
I put this up
I
because I
love it.
thought it was kind of funny.
Uh huh.
So this is Dexter and well, mostly Johnny Wrestling or Johnny Greedy at
Hmm.
this moment. They're trying to figure out, what to do with all this money, which is I'm looking at. I'm like, how much money is that? How much money did you make after increasing your wealth? Let's not forget in the poker game on Monday, they did get more money.
Yep.
Even if they were giving out money, they still made more money. We don't know because it was a high stakes game. Miz couldn't
Hmm.
get in there because he had no money,
Right.
or his wife didn't let him have money.
His wife. Right. He didn't have enough allowance.
Exactly, which is fine. I respect that. I identify. So, like he's thinking like clone Padme, whatever you call, which is a
Mhm.
French bulldog, is kind of adorable. And you can see it says "evil clone win?"
Mhm.
question mark, and then there's a little sad face.
Mhm.
Uh, Bluey Bling. I don't know what that means, but apparently it's like a cartoon show for little kids. He's got the little dog necklace on Baby Wrestling there, and
Okay.
then there's fully functioning suits. He didn't put Iron Man because you don't want problems with Disney.
Right.
Because there's definitely Iron Man suits,
And
and
you know
then
what? That caricature of Johnny could also be a caricature of Tony Stark.
yeah, it's weird that they have elf looking ears. You
Hmm.
know, um,
Ears aren't easy.
did JBL like do this? Dexter, I'm assuming did this.
Yeah.
Let's see what it says. Mr. Scrooge, a Scrooge reference. Like it's a picture of Dexter, and he's like jumping into money, and there's
Mhm.
little Johnny wrestling over there. He's like waiting his turn or whatever in the money bin.
Mhm.
And I take exception for it says to the moon question mark. It should really say to the moon. Nice little reference to our boy there. You
Cameron
know.
Grimes.
That's right. And it's them two on the moon.
Mhm.
And of course, in this segment, Lady Wrestling, she's like, you guys, you're a bunch of guys. You're very
Mm.
selfish. Maybe you should do something good or whatever. And they're like,
Mhm.
I know what to do. And they go to the merch stand and they start giving out whatever. That's like later. And we're going to have a ladder match for the
Mhm.
money.
Yep.
And Miz also had to help them give away toys dressed like an elf
Mhm.
because Pierce.
Right.
So, um, all right. So this next bit, I thought it was kind of cool. This is the Kevin Owens segment.
Yep.
So here's Kevin Owens. Yeah, he's already. Yeah, Kathy Kelly asked him about what the bloodline did to Riddle,
Mhm.
and he's like, Solo's really dangerous, and I'm not even worried about it. I'm not even hungry right now. I just ate catering, and then here comes Elias. It's like, hey
Mhm.
man, I was wondering if you could just be, in my corner, because I got to fight. And
This is
KO's
great.
it ignorant. He's
Mhm.
like, how is like, you're driving me crazy. What do you think? I don't want to hear anything about it's
All summer. All summer
all
long.
summer. And it's like, you kind of, as someone who has been gaslit a lot, I agree with you, Kevin Owens. You're not crazy.
Mhm.
But this leads to um, the eulogy to everybody's favorite bro, and he's
Mhm.
cool because, like, after you get written off, do you really get something nice like this? You know what I'm saying? So they plan on having him return. Um, so you know, Elias, it doesn't work out too good for him, you
Mhm.
know.
Right.
So let's keep going. All right. So you have Rhea over Asuka in the highlight there. Uh,
Mhm.
But I had to point the attention to here. Now you'll
Mhm.
notice if you're listening, this is at the beginning of the match. Asuka's in, she does her entrance. She removes her mask. And normally Asuka's face is painted in some way.
Mhm.
Like either like the green out the eyes or the line across the face, the
Mhm.
nose area. But that's not happening here. Change is coming.
I like it.
By the way, I think she looks amazing.
Yeah.
So this match, there's a lot of chicanery, a
Mhm.
lot of F wordery, as it were.
Mm.
And Dominic gets handled.
Yep.
He's got the mist in his eyes, all over his face, neck, and chest. I'm assuming.
Mhm.
And yeah, but you would think, okay, maybe Oscar's going to be all right. Well, no. So Rhea Ripley takes advantage. Mommy herself, just
Mhm.
gets Oscar. She pins her. This is definitely not the end. They're building towards something here.
Yeah. I mean, the general content of the match I liked though.
Yeah, really good. You definitely love them. You love to see it.
Yep.
Um,
And
so
I
this
can't
is
wait for badass Oscar to come
me.
back.
I'm looking for full clown makeup, full evil Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and hopefully, and they'll just tear it up. I don't care who's the face or who's the heel or whatever. I care about, this is about power.
Mm-hmm.
This is about revenge. This is about shifting it into a new gear to deal with with like a foe that you're really having a lot of hard times with. It's very anime or like adventure or some kind of like, like you get pushed down, by the bad guy. They're always like kick it in. You have to go to the next level. You have to go beyond plus
Mm-hmm.
ultra, you know.
Yup.
So speaking of going beyond, so at one point the referee is like nowhere near in the ring,
Yeah.
and Bobby Lashley has Rollins dead to rights here,
Mm-hmm.
and referee takes forever to get there. This is when the
Because
pin is
his ankle's
broken.
tweaked.
Yeah, his ankle is tweaked,
Mm-hmm.
and Rollins is able to kick out. Obviously, Lashley's not happy about this. He's like, "Hey, man, what the heck?" And the
Mm-hmm.
referee's like, "But my hurt, my
Mm-hmm.
ankle hurt." And then here comes, boom, backhand. This is post match. Lashley already lost the match. He's very
Yup.
upset.
Mm-hmm.
It's understandable. He's tired of being screwed around. He's had
Mm-hmm.
enough. And then there's the argument with Pierce, and I think there's a good old "you're fired"
There is.
situation happening here. Kenny's like, "Hey, man, don't come after me, bro."
Yeah.
You know, Kenny
Mm-hmm.
Dykstra over there, was nice with a suit.
Kenny. Yep.
Yeah.
Now I don't
Um,
know how late you read my notes, but or are you looking at my notes now? Because
I always have them up.
there
That's
was
how
a
I do the.
so I didn't keep it. I didn't put it in the news because this is kayfabe. But
Oh, that on
uh,
Tuesday he released the video.
right. Yeah. So Adam Pierce released a video on Twitter rescinding the firing of Bobby Lashley, saying that his emotions got the better of him, but noted that they're going to meet at some point. I think it was this week or this weekend to discuss proper repercussions for Bobby Lashley.
Like, what possible? Like, you could just find him. What's the problem with that?
I don't know.
Like, that's the normal thing, isn't it? Just to
Mm-hmm.
find them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or
that,
suspend.
yeah, that is the raw raw slides. Because YouTube is being a pain in my butt,
Yep.
and that should be fine because they're just images. So,
Fingers
um,
crossed.
yeah, they're gonna hit me with that top dollar probably, but that was like 17 seconds. It's like, come on, guys, really?
Mm.
It's transformative.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, so let me take that out of there. Thank you, Raw. Thanks for all the memories. Unfortunately, I was unable to obtain NXT stuff, and I'm apologizing in advance to everybody. But we can go through. Um,
Yeah, just real
so
quick. I don't like the the acting chops of either Keanu James or um hell's his name? It's in there somewhere. Brooks Jensen. They're just not quite there.
is
It's
Brooks
also not the character.
Jensen is the dude from that was in Evolve, or is that the
No,
other guy?
that's Josh Briggs. Brooks Jensen is the
Briggs.
one that is someone's kid. I'm trying to remember. V, maybe Vito. Bull Buchanan. It's Bull Buchanan's kid.
Okay, I think Briggs is being held back with this. I don't,
Yes.
I don't, I don't think it works for me.
Mhm.
Like
Briggs
I
is a
like the
solo
idea.
act.
Yeah, I like the idea of the team, and maybe that'll be the result. But it's like, how many
Mhm.
times are we gonna have a tag team? But maybe if it's like amicable, you know what I
But
mean?
who's booking
Really, you don't think?
NXT?
Shawn Michaels?
Right. The king of amicable breakups, right?
Well, we could talk about HBK
Marty.
booking when we talk about the new NXT Women's Champion.
Yes.
So
Before we get to that, we had interesting something happen. Drew Gulak came to ringside during the what was it? Duke Hudson and Oh yeah, Damon Kemp match. And Andre Chase got in his face. Gulak said something before leaving because Andre Chase told him that Duke is with Chase U because he's jealous. He doesn't want him leaving Chase University to go study under Drew Gulak or something.
So look, Gulak's trying to put together like a faction of like dudes.
I think so, but the thing was, Gulak last week, or it
Yeah,
might
he
have
was
even been earlier in the show.
checking out Dempsey
Damon
last week.
Kemp, yeah, Damon Kemp told Gulak to watch his match.
Oh,
This had
okay.
nothing to do with Duke Hudson, except for like them talking earlier, which we don't even know what was said. It was just a handshake.
I think if they used Duke Hudson in more of like a comedic way,
Hmm.
it could work. Because I like the interaction with him and what's the girl's name on the
Persia
team?
Persia Parada. Oh no,
No,
Thea Hale. I thought you
yeah,
meant
where she's
Rachel Ray.
excited about fighting Isla Dawn. He's
Oh
like,
no, no, no,
no,
no,
no, you
no.
shouldn't.
That's not a good idea.
That was great. I thought that was great. When he does
It
stuff like that,
is
that's pretty good.
like he is very good at that, but I kind of feel because like I know he could be a good non-comedic character.
I think you could. I think it makes him kind of charming. Like if you just, because if you just lean in on him, he's just like a big handsome guy. Like there's nothing really there to relate to as somewhat handsome men such as
Yeah,
ourselves.
I thought
You
I
know what I
thought he
mean?
was. Yeah, I thought he was a good heel though.
I didn't think so.
Hmm.
I the way they handled him didn't make me think he was.
Well, the Index and I don't remember it was Duke, whatever
It
Duke
was
and
Grimes
Praja.
because he lost the hair to Cameron Grimes. Remember they was fighting each other and stuff.
Yeah, that too. But I was thinking of like the pairing of Duke and Persia Parada,
Mm.
and that quote unquote feud with Index.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. I put it out of my memory because they was having these dumb vignettes that you're like, why is this happening to me? You know, like you feel
Yeah,
like you're personally being attacked by your TV. It's not right.
yeah,
I'm
like
still I'm still in recovery.
the pose down thing they were doing in when they were shopping for cowboy clothes.
Yeah, it's like I don't need this. But he
Wrestling
tried.
can be anything, but we don't want it to be that.
Yeah. Um.
And then
Yeah.
we had the main event. I thought it was interesting that Booker mentioned Ring of Honor.
You can say it now.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, so it's not owned by AEW. It's owned by the owner of AEW. So maybe that's the sort of like loophole there. Like Ring of Honor, they don't have a TV deal. They don't have contracted talent.
But you could also argue this is before he got it anyway. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
She wasn't their champion when he bought it.
No,
She
no,
was already here.
right. But I know, like they don't want to promote they don't want to mention another active promotion. Ring of Honor is not an active promotion at the moment.
Yeah,
Certainly
that
not
doesn't.
nationwide.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt at all. You know.
Yeah, fine.
Um. So listen, we're all impressed with your spelling and words. So the the booking of Roxy, like I don't Roxanne Perez, I know, whatever.
Hmm.
I understand that what they're trying to do
Hmm.
because you could already see the HBK booking. She wins the Iron Survivor Challenge.
Hmm.
Okay. Before this, she was in a tag team with her friend who
Hmm.
betrayed her. They were the
Hmm.
champions.
Yep.
Okay. Then they feuded. She won the feud.
Hmm.
Okay. Then she's the number one contender after being in first.
Hmm.
She's first in the Iron Survivor. Holla HBK number one in the Royal Rumble. Boom. And I don't, I'm going to assume that the plan was always for her to drop the belt to Mandy. I mean, for Mandy to drop the belt to her,
Yeah.
to take her on this journey.
Hmm.
And now we're going to go back to Cora Jade, I think. Unless that's not the next feud and that's after whatever's next. I'd argue it's too soon.
I would
You know
agree
what I
with
mean?
that. I just don't know what singles heel Maybe Zoe Stark.
Yeah, yeah, I would go with
Okay.
that.
That'd be fresh. Zoe has the size advantage, which, is easy to play off of.
And it's a foe that she can beat. And she looks like somebody that's like, could really hurt her. Like she's been in the business longer, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
because like this Roxanne Perez is very young. You know what I mean?
I think she's 20, 21.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's been in the business for 5 years.
yeah.
Book said he started training her when she was 16, which I don't even know if that's legal, but he's saying it on that.
Whatever, man.
Yeah. Tell me you didn't say that.
Yeah, he's proud of his student. He was very emotional when she
He
won.
was. He was.
Um,
We like the
so
realness. Mhm.
yeah, yeah, I think that's good because you can't good.
Yeah.
You can't not acknowledge the truth.
hmm
Um, so
So she's top of his fave 5.
for sure.
Yeah.
All righty. So unless there's anything else about NXT, we'll just keep on plowing.
Straight on through.
You want to do SmackDown next or Dynamite? Because
SmackDown.
SmackDown's like right there. All
SmackDown is
right.
right there.
So the yellow here, I disagree with. I get that it's because it's interesting in their story progression here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here, why did it start at the end? All right. So the hooded figure comes out during the tag team title match, basically causing the team of Tegan and whoever her partner was. I don't see it. Who did Tegan
Liv
Knox
Liv
team up
Morgan.
with? Liv Morgan. Okay, so
hmm
I'm like, I don't. Oh, Liv, there she is.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things where you're like, oh, I wonder who it is. And there's all this speculation. I was like, oh, is it Indy Hartwell doing like what Dexter was doing?
hmm
And then the Family Guy pops into my head. Oh my God, who the hell cares? Because it's Xia Li.
Yeah.
So effing what?
Cole Carter.
Like, how did he get here? But it's like, come on, man. Like, this is what you're doing? Well, at least Xia Li's getting something to do. Fine, I guess.
hmm I'm just glad they didn't waste the reveal on like an in-ring segment that ended up falling flat. It was an announcer notes, and then it's like, oh, well, that's dumb.
Basically, yeah,
Yeah.
that sums out what I
Mm,
felt about that.
mm.
So I don't have it here, as I dropped the ball, but the Gunter Ricochet match was pretty cool. Like that, the
Yeah,
match was
that's a gold
awesome.
highlight, by the way.
Oh, okay, I couldn't look like
Yeah,
mustard.
it does look like
Um,
mustard. There's like it's if you're using yellow, like you can't really also use like there's no actual gold highlight. So
well, now that I know it's gold, I would have
yeah,
taken more diligence to get some stuff from it.
it's all right.
Honestly, I would
Great
have to
match. We
put the
all
whole
saw it.
match, and then we'd be at copy struck. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool that immediately there's not going to be no effery. It's like goodbye, you guys are gone.
hmm
Which not like he needed their help anyway. It's
Right.
good that he got a decisive victory and just putting Ricochet, who's as fast as a puma.
hmm
Michael Cole, you're very
Yep.
clever. You're very clever.
hmm
So that sounds like a Pat McAfee thing. Like he might say that. But good
Yeah.
job, Michael Cole. Um,
I thought of something today.
oh yeah?
I don't know if we're ready for it. I'm ready
Okay.
for it. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Gunta. Gunta. We got to make that.
You could have kept going and then I could just get the sample.
I was born. I cannot do the Brian Johnson voice.
Yeah, I can't do that either, so I'm not gonna try.
hmm
At least you tried.
Thank you.
So this segment, obviously, we're looking at the Bray Wyatt LA Knight.
Yeah.
I think this segment went on entirely too long.
Mm.
So basically, the gist of it is like LA Knight, he's out there. I'm not gonna leave this out. Don't worry. It's in the chamber where like he keeps saying yeah, like because he wants Bray Wyatt to come out,
Mm-hmm.
and then Bray Wyatt comes out and he's like yeah, and I'm like yes, Luke Harper time,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was great, great, good shirt to wear.
On his birthday.
That's right. That's right.
Yesterday,
And
Friday. Mm-hmm.
WWE acknowledged was pretty cool.
Yep.
So I thought that was cool. That to me was the best part of the segment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I felt like because like Bray's like, I don't know, I didn't do anything to you, and like LA Knight doesn't believe him because Bray Wyatt, he's got a history. He's got a history of problems with people. A
Mm-hmm.
history of being burned alive. How do you recover from that? How do you trust somebody like that?
Right.
So eventually we have another person. All right, we went too fast. I think I shrunk
Mm-hmm.
it too much. So
Uncle
it's not a
Howdy.
very good shot. Uncle Howdy's there.
Mm-hmm.
And what Uncle Howdy does is a thing that annoys the piss out of me. And it's that
Mm-hmm.
Rhea has stopped doing. It's the
Oh, that
stupid
too.
with your
Mm-hmm.
hands on the thing, and then it's the laughing, and it's like, whoa, what's going on? I thought that was him. And it's like, and the laughing, and it keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps going. You have to fade to black sooner. You had to go to commercial sooner. It was too effing long. And there's a point where he puts his hands down from doing that. And he
Mm-hmm.
awkwardly puts it back up. It's like, no, put the hands back up. The camera's back on you. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, man. So welcome back, Bo Dallas. That's obviously who that is.
Yep.
And if I'm wrong, all right, fine, whatever.
I mean, because why else would Knight make it a point to say that he heard him and he felt him, right? Who
Yeah.
else is going to sound and feel like Bray Wyatt?
Maybe he's got the same presence, But I was always under the assumption that they would be using Bo as a physical stand-in.
Yeah.
I'm not. We don't have enough information to say that because they hasn't wrestled a match. Nothing's happened. It's
Right.
just this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
More smoke and mirrors.
Whoa.
With his like music that's like to warm up the Linkin Park band.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I know why people like it. And you could tell because it's like there's a reaction when Bray Wyatt comes out. He's like this. It's almost like they think he's some kind of a preacher man, like he could heal them or something. Like they're really into him. You can hear it. Like you're like,
Mm-hmm.
Bray, I love you. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
out there like that. I
Mm-hmm.
get it.
And he's like, I love you too, man.
And it's like we're gonna have to have a match.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do, just do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Slow burn. Like we always ask for the slow burn. It's like, listen, slow down your storylines. Is this too slow?
I think we could move a gear up a little bit. Like the weird TikTok, and he's got like him, kidnapped in a back room or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey man,
Like, why does he
I
still
don't,
have facial hair that should have gotten ripped off with the duct tape?
and he shouldn't have a TikTok account. Monsters don't have TikTok accounts.
Mm.
Some can argue, some do. But anyway, the point is, let's just do something else here. Let's move it along. I feel like we're making a little here. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I notice is that, like, right after it comes back from this, is no acknowledgement of it whatsoever. Like it never
Yeah.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Well, if I could
Say what
switch
you will.
gears for a minute. No, it's Michael Cole.
Yeah, I guess the argument could be made. Well, they went to commercial. That was forever ago.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Mhm.
So next, I don't know why he keeps doing this to me. So, everybody's excited, for Sammy. There was a conversation between Jimmy J or J Jimmy. I know it was Jimmy with Roman. And he's like, Sammy's my dog, but
That was
like
Jay,
if you
actually.
shit. So J Jimmy or Jimmy J, like I said before, I love them. I'm not a newsologist, so it's really hard for me.
Yeah.
So basically, he loves the family.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever he decides. So you think, by the way, I don't respect the man bun. I don't care who's doing it. Um,
Mm.
I do not want to be struck down. So the only one that's allowed is the tribal chief because it's his island.
Mm.
So this isn't a certain country where everybody has to get their hair cut like Dear Leader. Okay,
Mm.
so he trimmed the beard a little bit. He's getting out there. He's got that.
Neatened it up. Use the old beard brush.
That's right. He's doing his thing. And basically Roman's like, listen, we got a Kevin Owens problem still. I want him gone, you know. And so he's decided, he said earlier to Pierce, it's not a big announcement here. Like, was anybody watching the show earlier? Where he's like, listen,
Mm.
I want a tag team match. It's gonna be Roman Reigns and the Honorary Uce versus Kevin Owens and an opponent, a partner of his choosing, right?
Yep.
As I ruined it, but here it is. John
Tribal
Cena's like,
dude.
the man you can't see has allowed himself to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, someone was saying, Kevin Owens texted me, with all these emojis or whatever that, I've always had. And the streak was about to be broken. So, yeah, let's do a match or whatever.
Eggplant
And,
emoji, peach emoji.
yeah, hashtag hash browns or whatever. And
Yep.
then look at Jimmy. That's Jimmy, right? The one with the hood on because the hair is in the
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
So Jimmy,
Mm.
he's real upset. He don't
Mm-hmm.
like that. He don't like that much at
Mm-hmm.
all. Solo can't even be bothered to look at the screen. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm just gonna stare
I can't
forward.
see him. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty cool when he intimidated like Pierce. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
Yep.
leave. That was like his
Mm-hmm.
signal to bounce.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we're gonna have it. It's gonna be the tag team. Usology versus Thugonomics, as Rich has coined the phrase a
Yep.
week ago. So we're really excited about that. It's always cool to have Big Match Johnny back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's your prediction? What do you think's gonna happen?
Man, like I'm not prepared because I was ready to just like experience it and see what happens. A Owens and Cena win.
Yeah, you don't bring back John Cena to lose, right? Unless it's
Yeah,
against the
Cena.
Tribal Chief, the head of the
Yeah,
table.
yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be Cena over Sammy or Owens pinning Sammy, but Sammy's gonna eat the pin. It's not gonna be Roman. No point in putting Roman's shoulders on the mat.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be post-match shenanigans.
Yes.
You know, I think somehow Cena's gonna get taken out by Solo or something,
Mm.
and like the Tribal Chief is gonna want
It's gonna be.
Sami Zayn to do something
Mhm.
to like prove his loyalty.
Yeah, Cena getting
Like
taken
it
out.
wasn't enough.
That's gonna be the old throw Cena into the steps, and he's gonna make the steps explode with his shoulder thing.
We're here for that.
Yeah,
As long as he's able enough to do his, movies or whatever, he'll be fine. Um,
that's like his
but
sixth
yeah,
move of doom.
yeah, that's how you use John Cena though.
Mhm.
In a tag team match, it minimizes his involvement.
Mhm.
Kevin Owens is going to do the heavy lifting,
Yep.
and I really think there's going to be something at the end. I think they should have Kevin Owens' family at ringside. They should have Kevin Owens'
Interesting.
family at ringside because we know Sami Zayn was close with his family. And like, what if the Tribal Chief wants Sami Zayn to do something to Kevin Owens in front of his family like that?
Mm.
And like they're begging him not to do it. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? That could be a real test of loyalty right there.
Mm.
And I'm not in a rush for it. I don't want the collapse to happen. But
Right.
it could be a little here, a little chipped away or something.
Mhm.
But I think Sami Zayn might have to make a decision. And, last SmackDown of the year, if you want to make like an impact on something, especially with people that are really involved in this storyline.
Yeah, and rumor has it, or the word going around is that they want this SmackDown to be can't miss.
It has to be. The Tribal Chief is back in the ring.
Mhm.
John Cena's back in the ring.
Crazy.
Kevin Owens might be done with Sami Zayn, but Roman Reigns isn't done with Kevin Owens.
Right.
All in all, with the exception of some minor things, I thought it was a solid SmackDown. Anytime
agree.
the tribal chief shows up, I think without that, it wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been
Mm-hmm.
great. Gunter versus Ricochet,
Mm-hmm.
fine. Um, I didn't care too much about the triple threat tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you who won. I think
Speaking,
Top Dollar's team won. Hit Row won. So that makes them the number one contenders.
there's a new Gunter shirt. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
So it's a giant handprint on the chest, and
Oh, where he would hit you?
yes, and but right under it says Gunter in the Imperium sort of font.
I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good shirt, and it's also just you asking for it. That's all I'm
Yep.
saying.
Like
But walk up to me wearing that.
I
I
cheer it
don't
here,
have a
but I don't
choice.
know how.
Yeah. I can do it for you.
WWEshop.com.
I can do it for you.
I can send you the link.
You don't have to. I can just look at. Oh, okay, fine. Just send because you put it in private. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
So luckily, it was smart enough to open it in a new tab, so I don't look like a fool and leave the StreamYard. So basically, what you do for you, it's on the bottom. You do share screen, and you can even select the tab if you want. So I'm gonna just pick the tab. Pop up. There you go. And that's it right there. So you guys can check that out. That's pretty cool. It's almost like a Andre the Giant could have made a shirt like that if he wanted.
Kinda.
All righty, let me stop that, and then we're back. Very cool shirt. All right, let's go back here. So SmackDown. All right, so let's go and hit the AEW real quick because we still have to speak on the two freaking premium live events / Ring of Honor or whatever.
Yeah, I thought we covered those last week, so I gotta find the results.
Oh, we did?
I don't know.
No, well, we did a
I think you're right.
preview.
I think you're right that we didn't.
Yeah, we always do like a preview, and then the next week we talk about what happens or whatever.
Yeah, and stupid me, I deleted it because I thought we did. Because, all right.
Don't worry, I almost deleted all the freaking thumbnails from the matches, and I restored them. Like, oh wait, we didn't talk about that yet because it feels like it was so long ago. But we still have to talk about AEW, so it's really not. You could just pull up the Wikipedia page for both of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Let me go back to the tab with the notes there. Okay. Now, this is why we don't. I don't know if we should just do it live down the line.
What do you mean?
Like the episodes, because you know how we do it like we do. It's not streamed live exactly. It's private until I put it up later.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you wanted to just leave it live and it's just going live and people pop in, that's up to you. Maybe the people can basementbookers@gmail.
We could do that, and then like you cut down the video for YouTube. Like cut out any.
It would be streaming for YouTube. Like, do you know how it works? Obviously not.
Well, I know you could also edit afterwards.
Yeah,
you edit.
There's something called a VOD. You can.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
do.
you do that. That.
Don't tell me what to do. All right. So let's do AEW. Let me take this out of here in case it's slowing us down. Screen highlight. Why does it always do that? Oh yeah, because I put it in and then it always. So we got everybody's favorite jerk off, MJF.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really mean guy. So he says that Stark finally cut his great promo. They're calling it a star-making performance. But he was a star when he got there, MJF is saying about himself. He's the most talked about guy in the business, and it took Starks dozens of tries. And Stark keeps writing about growing up poor. Nobody cares. But at the same time, nobody cares about you being rich. I'm just saying. Not you being rich, because you don't have a choice. I mean, about MJF being rich.
I could change my name, but why would I?
Rich the Wealthy wouldn't work. I think Rich the Riz is better. Oh, it would
There
be
you go.
Wealthy the Riz. That wouldn't
Yeah.
work either.
No,
Yeah.
that's silly.
So
Wealthy the Wiz.
he's not under any pressure because he's a champ and he's already the guy, and nobody's rooting for him. So he can't let anyone down. He's got nothing to lose, really, except for the championship and the Dynamite ring. But
Yeah.
whatever. Who's
Right.
counting?
Mm-hmm.
You know. It's an MJF promo. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's mid JF. Am I right? Because he would say that. He would say
Yeah.
that. All right. So we got ourselves. What is this? Red or magenta? Because sometimes I don't know what colors you
That's
want.
reddish. That's
Okay.
not bad, but closer to bad than good.
All right. So this is the backstage with Renee. Britt's telling Renee that she is not going to beat Hater, and
Mm-hmm.
all she does for is break
Mm-hmm.
Britt Baker's nose, not her own nose. 'Cause that'd be
Right.
weird.
Mm.
Sky walks up, Sky Blue, right? You could tell
Mm-hmm.
because her top's blue.
Yeah.
And says she
Sky
couldn't
blue
help but
even.
hear. Yes, she couldn't help but hear her talk. So she should prove whether she's good in the ring as she is at talking on Friday, which is Rampage, which is
That's
on
right.
Friday. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, spoiler alert, I don't got nothing from there. So I did watch it though,
Mm-hmm.
just to see if I can find anything interesting.
You
Um,
watched it because Renee spoiled something.
yeah, she did. And we'll get to that. So this next one was pretty cool. I've
Mm-hmm.
never heard of Action Andretti.
Me neither.
I'm not super deep into the lore. But I would say this is a green highlight. 'Cause look, here he's gonna try to Walls of Jericho
Mm-hmm.
on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it got reversed, but this came later. This was a crazy drop kick.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was off the like Jericho's chest. Like
Mm-hmm.
Jericho, you know how wrestling works. There's kind of a little bit of assistance there, but it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
too much where like this is bullshit. But I thought
Right.
it was pretty cool. Like to do that
Mm-hmm.
off a guy's chest, that's pretty cool. That means he's pretty capable of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time in a long time, Chris Jericho is doing something for actual real young talent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This guy's fresh as a daisy, as far as
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yep.
Um, so he does a standing shooting star press onto El Ocho,
Mm-hmm.
and there goes a 3 count. He's out of there quick. Like he couldn't believe it, Jericho. He's like, what? It's a real one kid moment right there.
Yep.
Jericho playing the part of Scott Hall / Razor Ramon.
Mm-hmm.
But in a longer match, it wasn't like as fast as the 1, 2, 3 kid thing, I don't think.
Yeah,
That
Jericho
was
was
like,
toying with him, which was good.
yeah. We'll see if he emotionally recovers from that. Financially, he'll be fine.
Yes.
Um, so the main event, I thought Ricky Starks might have had a chance, and I
Mm-hmm.
was foolish.
You
But
were.
that is what MJF does. He makes a fool out of people,
Mm-hmm.
and that worked. This came, MJF doing his thing, the sneaky thing. He's got a ref shield,
Mm-hmm.
and then here comes the
Boo! Right through
and
the
look at the
uprights.
see right there, and the ref is just not even looking. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and look, winter may have came, but Ricky Starks might not for a long time.
You're not
So
wrong.
sorry, but a picture says 1,000 words, and
Yeah.
it's like right there, right in the yam bag, as
And
Taz would say.
half these words are ow, and half these words we don't want to say on this podcast.
Ow, my groin.
Mm-hmm.
You could say groin.
Yeah, groin.
So a real football in the groin, but a
Mm-hmm.
foot, just a foot. So good job there. Surely worthy of the World Cup. If only the team that didn't win had MJF's feats.
Yep.
Here we are. He's a very busy guy. He's doing movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that is the rounds out the AEW Dynamite stuff.
Right. No highlights or lowlights from last week's Rampage, which we hadn't watched when we were recording during it. This week's Rampage, Mox vs. Sammy, I thought was a good match. You said you wouldn't
I'll say it.
put your body on the line. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like imagine destroying your body for Sammy Guevara. I don't look. Sammy Guevara is another one of these situations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got a bright future. It's like whatever. The right guy won. But like,
Yeah.
do you really have to do the ear thing for this guy? Like Moxley can have a match without blood. It's possible. I've seen it happen. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is not the grassy knoll. All right, this isn't aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Moxley have matches where he doesn't have to bleed. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got. But
go ahead.
well-deserved Bulldog choke. Well-deserved.
Choked him out.
Choked him out, and that was pretty cool.
Other green highlight was Joe's promo on the screen. He's kind of doing a play on the Wendy.
It's a little less creepy when it's at Wardlow.
Yeah.
Because he could really defend himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I did like that he wasn't addressing him as the king of television.
Mm-hmm.
You got to show respect.
Mm-hmm.
But what's a king to a tribal chief anyway?
Right.
You're just another Samoan named Joe with 2 title belts. I see you, Tony Khan.
True story.
I love Samoa Joe, so it's fine with me.
Yeah. The main event last night was, the 8-man tag. I'm glad Trent Seven's on my TV. I think I like the tag team of him and Trent Seven, him and Kip Sabian rather. But I got to see more of them. Like Butcher and Blade in there was interesting. The involvement of Bunny and Penelope worked for me. I liked it. I like the yet another nod to Eddie Guerrero kind of thing. Danhausen. At this point, you just have to accept Danhausen's going to do silly Danhausen things.
Danhausen gonna Danhausen.
Yeah. So,
you got to lean into your strengths.
Yeah. If you don't like it, at least acknowledge that he's being consistent to his own character, which works.
And also, like, accept the fact that he's doing it in the best friends universe.
Yeah.
It's not like he's ruining some serious thing for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we knew there was going to be a Trent versus Trent reference. I'm the real Trent kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the real Trent is the first Trent.
Which would have to be Trent 7.
Well, if you got to think about the universe itself, like in AEW, Trent was there first, right?
Yeah. But it's always been Trent with a question mark. He has never stated his name is Trent. It's more asking, is my name Trent? Now, Trent 7 comes in, who
He's
has
sure
been
about it, though.
Yes, who has been wrestling all over the world for longer than Trent Beretta has, or Trent. And AEW acknowledges other promotions. So within this AEW universe, theoretically, Trent knows about Trent 7. Therefore, it should be definitive. Trent 7 is the original Trent, even though he wasn't in AEW first. He was established even with an AEW lore first.
I'll give you that. My issue is the issue I always have when there's a situation when there's an Earth 1 and Earth 2. Like, how do you get to decide? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one's Earth 1 and Earth 2? Like,
well, you smash them together. And you see which one survives, and that's Earth.
Actually, no. I mean, none of them would survive. They won't. a planet-on-planet collision.
Mhm.
Like, there's no. I'm not doing this with you.
No
You're the
one wins
science
that?
guy. Yeah, like no one wins. It's like it's like headbutting a Samoan.
Yeah. Well,
Except
no,
like
the
you're
Samoan
both
wins
not
that.
Samoans.
If two
Except
Samoans headbutt.
it's two regular men. It's two basement bookers.
Yeah,
Okay, there's no winner.
right.
I'll have a concussion because your head is very hard. Probably
I have a hard head.
it's yeah. So all right. So my friend,
Mm.
it is time to finally. Well, we always do this, but here we go.
Mhm.
So, much to my chagrin, Ring of Honor was first,
Mhm.
and it was ruined for me because I didn't get the times right. So I found out things when I didn't see them,
Oh, that's
but I saw
unfortunate.
them after. Yeah. So let's talk about what do you want first, and I'll pull up the image.
I mean, are we doing every match? Because I mean, I don't have my highlights here because I deleted everything because I
No,
thought we talked
no.
about it.
Let's just BS about it. It's fine. Overall, it was Ring of Honor. And my main
Mhm.
takeaway watching FTR versus the Briscoes, and you don't have to do this. The whole time I'm saying, like, no, I'm not saying you don't have to have the match.
Mhm.
It is a very juicy match. All right. There was a
Yeah.
lot of juice.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what? Like it was a bloodbath.
It's a double dog collar match. What do you expect?
I know. And this is the argument, and I'm gonna make this.
Mhm.
I feel like this was went better than War Games. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the Briscoes FTR match, that was raw and real, and that's what you got in dog collar matches back in the day.
Yeah.
Any dog collar match worth their salt back in the day.
Mhm.
Like the Brody and Cody one. It's a
Yeah.
good example.
Mhm.
Like you either go all in, don't do it.
Right.
War Games in the Dizzy was brutal.
Mhm.
You know, there was way too much taking of powder in the modern ones. You just
Mhm.
can't do it the same way. It's a different time. I
Yeah.
I compare it to the pyramids. Like they did it. We know they did it,
Yeah.
but we can't do it the way they did it.
Mhm.
But we do all these other things with these skyscrapers and stuff, but we can't do that like they did it.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be the same. It's a different time.
Mhm.
So in that, and that should be the end of it. That's the end, I believe. That should be it. Double dog collar, you can't go up from that, right?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
To me,
And
I was happy with it. I was
and
happy
when
that the Briscoes won.
and when ROH gets TV or this honor forgot honor club, I don't remember what it's called. Um, they have their own tag champs now.
Yeah, and that you don't have to worry about none of the politic and BS.
Mhm.
They're not going to be on network TV.
Yeah.
They're going to be on the ROH thing.
Mhm.
Perfect.
And without a doubt, FTR had like the best year of any tag. I think the best year any tag team has ever had.
Yeah.
Period.
I actually called this match. It was regular versus meth trailer park.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like just kidding. I love these guys, and I don't want to be hurt. But I'm like,
Mm.
just think about it, guys. Just think about it. All right.
Mhm.
One more time. Regular trailer park, meth trailer park,
Yeah.
or you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're just
Mhm.
right across from each other. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
which I don't mind a double wide. That'd be pretty cool. Um, all right. So, obviously Joe did what he had to do to Juicy Robinson, you
Yup.
know, the king
As
of
expected.
television.
Mhm.
Moxley was right. Moxley said, after the awkward Ghost of William Regal tape,
Mm-hmm.
that professional wrestling will be making a statement this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Young Wheeler Yuta beating Danny Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
El
Referee
Ocho,
stoppage.
referee stoppage, bro.
Mm-hmm.
El Ocho,
Mm-hmm.
doing the honors, which very different. Tapping out from the spin.
Yeah.
I
I guess
don't like that
Why not?
because it's like it's not a submission move. It's not supposed to be, but you can tap whenever you want, right? Like there's
Mm-hmm.
no rule. It's not like a hold technically,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it would have been better if he submitted him in like a sharpshooter.
Yeah, I feel like the announcers could have done a better job of basically explaining physically what happens to the body during the spin. In particular, so when you're standing, like all your weight obviously is supported more by your lower half, right?
Yeah.
Pulling downward towards your lower half. In the spin, it's like all the weight is putting pressure on those same parts, but in reverse, it's pulling up. So they should have focused on what that does to the knees and the lower back, having suddenly all your weight with centrifugal force whipping around, pulling, in Jericho's case, let's say 200 pounds from your knees. It's like your knees are basically going like this, getting pulled apart, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us that, Taz. Tell us that, Excalibur.
I actually agree with you on that. If it was explained, because I think I saw a social media post by Jericho or something, and he explained why he did,
Mm
and but to me, it's like, listen, how important is this championship to you?
hmm. Mm hmm.
Can you recover from that? I would argue yes. You could argue you could, because he's going to tire out.
Yeah.
Like he can't maintain that spin forever. He just
Mm hmm.
can't,
Yeah.
and it'll probably disorientate him
Mm hmm.
as well as you.
Mm hmm.
So, and either way, once you tapped, you still got flung.
Mm hmm.
It's not like he gently set your ass down when
Yeah.
he was done with you.
Mm hmm.
So that's all. Like if it wasn't for the championship, then I would have been fine with it. But the championship was on the line.
Yeah.
Is it not that important to you? Oh,
Mm.
food for thought.
Yeah. Athena and
Um,
Mercedes.
yeah, this was for the women's championship, and I was wrong. Mercedes Martinez dropped the belt to Athena.
Crazy.
I can't really say much about it.
Hmm.
Good job.
Well, I'm starting to like this heel run for Athena. I've said in the past I don't care for the character. It's weird, but then the heel turn, I feel like this is this is a more real character for her. It's a more realistic character, this heel character, than the face Athena.
Yeah, like just lean into it. People hate on you, then
Hmm.
use that as fuel.
Yep.
It's a Roman Reigns situation,
Hmm.
you know, except he was getting dunked on for a long time.
Hmm.
I would argue though they brought Ember Moon in the wrong alignment. She should have been a heel all the way through. Like the presentation and everything when she first came in with that, because I saw her at NXT Takeover when she came.
Hmm.
There's like the entrance, the blood moon there. It was really cool. Like she should have been a heel.
Hmm.
The war goddess, she should have been a heel
Yeah.
the whole time.
Hmm.
And as a heel, she wouldn't have to talk too much. Let her actions be her words.
Yep. Probably the
Uh,
last thing to talk about here is the official split of Swerve and Glory.
it was a long time coming.
Hmm.
Good.
It's like tease, nah, we're good. Tease, we can get past that. Tease, I'm done.
Yeah, let's. It's almost like, didn't they break up already?
Yeah.
Oh, now it's official.
Hmm.
It's official now. Okay.
You know what? I guess it mirrors some real life relationships.
Yeah, but like, didn't Swerve walk out on Keith Lee before?
Yeah, but then
So this
they
is a
talked
full,
about it off camera. Remember?
yeah, but it's like fool me once, shame on you kind of
Yep.
thing. That's
Mhm.
on Keith Lee for trusting him, even after they talked about it.
Didn't Keith Lee walk out on Swerve too once?
Oh yeah, turnabout is fair play, I guess.
Yeah. So
Yeah. All right, yeah.
it's all
See,
right. They're
my
done. We
memory of
know what's
AEW is
happening.
not good. Yeah,
Yeah. It's a lot
it
of
was only going to
content.
go one way. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we already discussed a lot of things.
Mhm.
What a stupid thing to say. We already discussed a lot of things.
2-hour
Uh,
podcast. No, we didn't discuss a lot. What are you talking about?
All right. So let's talk about, and I think you were wrong on this, and I was right on this.
Hmm.
The tag team title match, Pretty Deadly versus the New Day. And the New Day have captured the NXT championships.
I don't remember, but I can say I could see myself saying that. Nah, they're not gonna drop titles. New Day's gonna put them
So
over.
does that mean the New Day stay on NXT every week? Because like they didn't show up on SmackDown or Raw with the belts, did they?
Not yet, but they could next week.
Do you think?
Keep in mind, so SmackDown next week is taped
Whoa.
for the holiday. Yeah, the results are already online. I obviously didn't look because I don't want spoilers.
Oh, so they already did the John Cena tag team match?
No, that's the following week. Next Friday is the 23rd,
Oh,
and then the 30th.
right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like I time traveled.
Dude, trust me, this month is the same for me.
This is the longest 2022. Um,
Ever.
yeah. What if
Ever.
dude, what if the Usos
Mhm.
like just take the NXT championships too?
You know?
Bro.
Yeah.
But I'm sticking to my guns that it's going to be Indus taking the belts off the New Day, establish them as a dominant tag team.
Yeah. Well, so in the share, they got this feud with the Creeds that they have
Yeah,
to blow off first.
that can happen like this, dude. You could do a regular NXT match and just we're done here. We're done with you guys. You know, like I like the Creed brothers.
Hmm.
I do, but it looks like it's heading to them like their toughness just not being good enough. You know, like giving it your all
Hmm.
and meeting that wall. And that
Hmm.
wall is Indus. You know, it's a head-on collision.
Hmm.
This wall is made out of panic room material, you know?
Yep.
So
Adamantium or something.
adamantium, unobtainium, really hardium, whatever.
Hmm.
So let's talk about this. Now, we were both wrong about this. None of us
Hmm.
saw what was going to happen here. And full disclosure, I was curious after we did our thing and after it was all said and done, what Vegas was saying about this.
Hmm.
And for the first time in wrestling, like for that, I saw a lock.
Hmm.
And to put context, there wasn't even a lock for Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi.
Hmm.
Like there was still a chance.
Yeah.
But Grayson Waller was a lock to win the Iron Survivor Challenge.
So why didn't you pick him?
Between us,
Yeah.
because how was I supposed to know? Like I said, after we did our thing and after the match,
Oh,
I
okay.
went and checked.
Mhm.
Like I just went through saying that.
Okay. No, because
Like
I thought I heard you mention. I thought I heard you say it before we recorded that it was locked. Unless it was after we recorded, but before the event started.
no, we talked about this in Messenger because you
Hmm.
hadn't seen it yet. And I was like, dude, for like the first time, there's a lock in one of these matches.
Hmm.
And there wasn't even one for Shotzi. Yeah, we
Yeah.
like
Okay.
our conversations, we talk too much,
Thank you for the recap.
basically. Yeah, you're welcome. I could share our messenger, but there might be some stuff in there that we don't need people to know.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
but hell, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know.
Right.
All right. We already discussed the women's. Um, I thought the finish was good because it was I Cora was trying to get a pin
Mm-hmm.
off of Roxanne.
Uh-huh.
She got out before she
Yep.
could get her. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was good, especially since it was between them two. Now there's a little something, something there.
Yeah.
Um,
So I like that. I mean, I ha- I want to make sure I don't phrase this in a disrespectful manner, but I think it is fitting that Kiana James didn't get any points. JD McDonough not scoring any points. Obviously, there's a storyline reason for that.
him and Axiom, they just can't get enough of each other.
Yeah. You know, Axiom's a kid, right? I told you that already.
No, I know he's a kid.
Yeah. No, a kid.
No, I know.
Okay.
It's a joke.
I
It's a
know it's
dumb
bad.
joke.
No. It's me.
It's
That's just
better
me.
than a kid. Axiom is
Yeah.
better than a kid.
Yeah, but like this math gimmick.
First
So
of all, I don't see it being applied.
right.
So
Also, Scripps is a heel now.
I thought he was a heel.
I don't know.
Writing in script is a heel to me, regardless. But
Hmm.
I digress. But I always thought that's what he was. Like he sounded like a heel to me.
I guess I wasn't paying enough attention in the first vignette for him. The second one, like, was more so, and then it was whatever he did that he attacked someone. I don't remember who. I don't know if I don't even know if it was at the pay per view or on NXT.
Here's the thing with scripts. When I don't feel like a gimmick is going anywhere,
Hmm.
I don't give a lot of attention to it.
Right.
Like the most attention I gave you was comparing him to the Reggie persona,
Hmm.
back to back clips, and I don't find him to be menacing or scary. I know what he's based off of, but it's like I don't know. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a regular Mark with a podcast. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. He's a talented cat. He could do a lot of things that I can't do, but
Hmm.
it's like, I mean, what is this? You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
are there judges holding up numbers after a thing you do? Like, I don't know.
Like, why change the character from what it was though?
From Reggie,
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was established. We knew who he was. Like he had the history of the sommelier thing, whatever. Thankfully, that ran its course, and they let him be just Reggie. Like, why not just bring him back down to NXT as Reggie, former whatever time 24/7 champion?
Maybe they're giving him a chance to flex his muscles creatively. Could be that. Sometimes that's not enough. You
Yeah,
know. All right.
Isla Dawn, my
No.
girl.
Yeah. Good.
Hmm.
Um, what more could you ask for? I think. Um, I forgot who won
Isla
because
Dawn.
I won. We won.
Yes, we did.
So we all won when we
Hmm.
got to see this. And interestingly enough, there's a thing where I do like picks for wrestling, and there's like a scoreboard and thing.
Hmm.
I picked her for that,
Nice.
and I also picked Grace.
Hmm.
So I got the most points, like out of the free agents. I was pretty
Excellent.
proud of myself. Yeah.
Good.
Um. So thank you, Grayson Waller. The Waller effect works.
Hola.
What was with him drinking out of his boot?
I saw that. I think like people pour champagne in their boot in some sport or something when they win like a championship.
But dude, you just
Uh,
that's
yeah,
a
I
lot of
wouldn't.
yeah. Ugh. Anyway,
Like sure, like yes, it would be mine, just like, but still, it's
my
no, not
first question was, "What's that all about?" What's
eh.
going on here? Yeah. So the main event: Apollo Cruz versus Braun Breaker.
As expected.
Yep.
No disrespect to Apollo.
No disrespect. What's next for Apollo? Whatever he wants, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep a good cruise down.
That's right.
Cruise control. Deadline was fine. What do you think of the concept of the Iron Survivor Challenge in practice?
It's interesting. It's a little less chaotic than it has the potential to be. So that's good in a way because it has to be relatively easy for the fans to follow along with what's going on. Like it's not quite to the point of a hat on a hat. So I think I said this right. It's easy enough to follow, and the sense of drama is there. And I kind of like the fact that it's both a benefit and a detriment to come in later. So kind of wherever you start, you're still kind of like on equal footing. Like you know how races in track and field, like if they're going like around the track, like you have one person starts here, another person starts like a couple feet behind, couple feet behind, couple feet behind as you get further out in the track,
Mm-hmm.
because that ensures that, or like a couple feet ahead as you get further out, whichever, that ensures that the overall distance that you're running from start to finish is the same. So this kind of has like that same kind of feel where ultimately starting first and being tired versus coming in last and potentially being already down a couple of points, but you have all that stamina left because you haven't done anything yet. It evens out.
I like the concept because it's one of those things where it's more simple than it is on paper. Like when
Yeah.
you're actually watching it, like
Hmm.
when it was being described to me by you, I'm like, oh, this sounds annoying. And then I watch, I'm like, hey, this is kind of cool. And the other thing that it does is no one really has an advantage. Like, what I mean is being intelligent and
Hmm.
having high ring IQ can win out over being the strongest, over,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's why in both those matches, I felt underdogs won it.
Like Waller getting those 2 pinfalls in a row was smart.
And Waller tapping as soon as possible to not hinder his progress later on.
Hmm.
That was a good risk.
It prevents damage and gives them a minute and a half to rest.
I wouldn't mind that being on a WWE show. That's
Hmm.
very easy to track.
Hmm.
As long as they keep it right, as long as they pay attention to the times right. You know what I'm saying? Like keep like the way it went was perfect.
Yeah.
So it
Very,
was good
very
enough to
good first
carry it.
outing.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
was good enough to carry the show. I think they should do that more moving forward, as an
Hmm.
annual thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Good
overall
stuff.
good stuff. Yep.
Hmm.
So I don't have anything else in the tank here. So unless you have some stuff.
Yeah, there were 2 pre-show matches, 2 dark matches for Deadline. Ivy Nile beat Lash Legend, and Duke and Andre Chase beat Javier Bernal and Zion Quinn.
Big body Javi.
I say it every time. I don't understand
Zion Quinn.
why they won't give Zion Quinn a win.
That rhymed.
I don't get it. He's
He
got the
checks all the
size,
boxes,
right?
right?
Yeah. Like unless people don't like him backstage or something, I don't know. I don't get it.
There's got to be something, or unless this is part of a long-term story or something. You never know.
Let's hope. I mean, like if it is, his name hasn't even been mentioned on TV in weeks.
True that.
Oh, maybe 2 weeks, maybe more. I don't know. We know my memory is shot.
Maybe they're cooling him down to heat him up again or something.
I hope
You
so.
know, maybe you got to learn. Maybe he's being like, the deal.
Yeah, I just hope that there's not something that like the coaches there are seeing that we're not seeing that has him like on the bubble of, well, you've been here so long and we don't really think you're TV ready, you know?
Yeah.
because I don't want to have to watch Dark to see him.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Dark, then you're not going to see him because it's AEW.
Yeah, and I don't have time for that.
Well, neither does MJF because he hates you too.
Yeah, like I was thinking if Impact were to get on like a major network, like I don't know if I would really care enough to stop watching Rampage.
Impact is on.
They're not on a platform that I can easily see.
Oh, okay.
They don't say the VODs that on Twitch. They're not on
We
like they're
still
on a
have.
network I don't have.
Oh, right. Because I turned on the TV one day and it was on the channel, and
Right,
I
but you
have
could,
FiOS.
so I don't know how.
That's
So
why you don't
I
have
have
it.
FiOS, but I don't have FiOS as my TV provider.
There you go. That's probably it. Okay. YouTube TV doesn't. That's why. I hear
Right.
you. Okay. Let's see if there's any news. Not really.
Nope. Damn, only 2 hours and 17 minutes, huh? Well, minus whatever gets cut.
Yeah, you don't need
Oh,
to mention that.
yeah, this would be like 2 hours because we did a lot of chatting beforehand.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right, I guess I will do the thing.
I'm
We would love.
sorry. I just want to mention
Yeah, go ahead.
that. Oh no, never mind. I was looking at the wrong thing. I was getting upset because I thought we got struck again. It was another video. I'm good.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, what? The images. What the hell? No, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine.
We would love to hear your thoughts. You can email us, basementbookers@gmail.com. Any kind of thoughts, let us know what you think of the podcast, what you want to see us doing different, add to the show, whatever it is. Basementbookers@gmail.com. We're, of course, on Twitter, @basementbookers, @basementjair, @richtheriz. You see him on the screen there if you're watching. If you're not watching, you just heard it, I'm sure. Hope you're paying attention. We're on Facebook, Basement Bookers Podcast. Just search it. It'll come up. Instagram, Basement Bookers Pod. And as far as where to find this podcast, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, every major podcast platform. We are on it. Don't forget to check out basementbookers.podbean.com. You can also listen to us right there. If you have the Podbean app, go for it. And am I missing one? I don't think I am.
Basement Bookers on YouTube.
YouTube, Basement Bookers on YouTube. There you go.
And like on the Facebook page, the
Yeah.
video will be up. So you could watch we could watch this for whatever reason. You know?
They would love to see our faces.
Yeah, you could make fun of my eyebrows or something. I don't care. You know? You see me without my glasses because I don't want the glare, you know?
There you go.
It's a real situation here. You know, it's better to make fun of somebody for being a jerk, but you can see them.
Yeah, it's easier, maybe.
Dude, did
Yes.
I tell you for the first time ever, someone on Twitter, they told me I was missing a K? I was so happy. They thought they were
that's
dunking on
great.
me, and I'm like, yes, you got it. You got it. Yes.
That was how long ago did I say that first?
It's a long time, but I think I leaned into it first.
You did. Listen.
Like, you
Whatever
can't
works.
own me with that, dude. I put that there for a reason.
Like, bro, listen to Basement Bookers episode like 102. Probably not even. It's probably in this.
Bro, imagine if you
double
were right.
digits. You know, me, epic numbers out of thin air.
Yeah. So
Anyway, Basement Jair is ready to close this podcast. With
Oh,
the
one
final
more
message.
thing. Like,
After that.
even if, like, on the YouTube, like, even if, for example, you don't want to view it and you're somebody that hears it, it's automatic. The podcast automatically uploads to YouTube audio only also.
Cool.
So, like, that's, whatever you want to do, if that's what you want to do, look at me in the eyes and look at Rich in the dome, doesn't, bothers you, then you don't have to if you don't want to. So it's available. And here it comes. The match of life is scheduled for one fall. So make it count.
And do what the man says.
Follow the Bookers.